Football Hall of Fame, for the voters, for the board of directors, for all of that. It is going to have changes that we will see take place in this offseason. Bill Belichick should be donning a gold jacket here this year.
I know. It's crazy to think about it. There's so many big topics when it comes to this week and just in general on Radio Row. People talking about Belichick, of course, Kraft, of course. This next topic has also been trending quite a bit. Just looking at this offseason, the Raiders with that #1 pick, looking to get Mendoza over there. The team needs some help. So if Las Vegas were to entertain calls on Maxx Crosby, what kind of haul are we realistically talking about in this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're talking about 2 first-round picks, right? I don't think there's any doubt that that's what you're talking about with Maxx Crosby. Of course, you got to make sure that everything checks out medically, but he's a guy that a lot of teams would want, right? Because the pass rusher changes the game. That is how you can really base your entire defense and defensive scheme around, and he would fit in anywhere. All 31 other teams would want Maxx Crosby. So who has 2 ones to give up? If you're the Raiders, do you have to have the 2 ones this year, right? Do you have to do it before the draft? That's going to be an interesting thing, right? Because if you believe that this draft isn't all that strong, and the Raiders, and this is going to be a little inside football, but they have a salary cap floor that they have to spend to. If they remove Maxx Crosby from the equation, one of the highest paid players in the NFL and their highest paid player, they need to start paying some players in order to reach that established floor. So it is not as simple as, oh, send Maxx Crosby away, get a couple rookie first rounders, and that's that. There's actual real financial math that has to be taken care of on that. So we'll report more on that as the time goes along. Again, it'd be silly for me to sit here and tell you, like, oh, yeah, here are the top 3 teams to watch. I'm telling you that 31 teams want Maxx Crosby, okay? Like, the Green Bay Packers aren't going after him because they have Micah Parsons and what they just gave up for Parsons, right? But outside of that, outside of the Cleveland Browns, maybe, right, who also do have an extra first-round pick, everyone's going to want Maxx Crosby. Everyone wants him.
You mentioned Micah Parsons there as well. In the news, CeeDee Lamb joined our Bryant McFadden out there in Santa Clara. I'm not sure if you saw them as well. Micah Parsons has been recruiting George Pickens to the Packers, and CeeDee is telling folks, hey, relax, let Jerry Jones cook. I'm working out new deals with Pickens. What do you make of all of that, JJ?
I don't make much of it. I really don't. Okay. I don't make anything of it. And it doesn't matter. I want to be very clear about that. Like, you know, George Pickens, the Dallas Cowboys can franchise tag him. Okay, so it doesn't really matter what George Pickens wants. If they tag him, then that's going to be that. He has to want to go play in Green Bay as well. You know, all these guys know each other these days, right? They all have been on the 7-on-7 circuits together. They were recruiting one another to play in college. There's like 2 or 3 big agencies, so a lot of these guys are under the same umbrella, and certainly Micah Parsons and George Pickens absolutely are. So this idea that, you know, oh yeah, I'm trying to recruit Pickens, all these guys know each other. None of it matters. It is completely immaterial to what is ultimately going to happen in mid-March when we get to free agency. And lastly, but again, how I let off with this, if the Dallas Cowboys franchise tag George Pickens, then it truly, literally does not matter.
It does not matter. Something that does matter and does actually change things is news that dropped this morning. Jim Schwartz stepping down in his role from Browns defensive coordinator. He's been the Browns DC for the last 3 years. We had the conversation once Todd Monken was announced as the head coach. You knew that he wasn't going to be happy. Did you expect this to happen right now?
Sort of, kind of. You know, like, he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
He was very upset that he got passed over for the head coaching job. He thought that it was his head coaching job. They hired Todd Monken, and let's be honest about it. He threw a hissy fit. You know, like it's difficult to not win a job. I mean, you're still under contract, and the way that he kind of left the building, everybody was like, I don't know how professional that was, Jim. So it was always going to be hard for the 2 sides to reconcile. The Browns kind of thought, the benefit of money, probably the benefit of a contract extension is going to be able to help. because it helped with Myles Garrett, for example, last year. Well, and that's not the case for Jim Schwartz. So they're going to look internally at a couple of options. The Cleveland Browns are. You can look at Ephraim Banda, I believe, Tarver, who's also there. There's going to be some internal options. There will be some external options as well, but this is not something that the Cleveland Browns were very surprised by. After last week, they knew that this was a possibility. And then lastly, Jenny, just to be clear, the Browns still have his rights. So it seems like he's going to sit out of coaching. I know the Las Vegas Raiders, they need a defensive coordinator. I don't think he's going to be coaching in 2026.
Ooh, that is a good little side note there. All right, let's turn our attention back to the big game. We had a brief scare this week for the Seahawks after their rookie defender, Nick Emanwari, rolled his ankle late in Wednesday's practice. Coach McDonald confirmed it's a low ankle sprain. He came out and he said, "I'm good to go, not a problem." Where's your level of concern?
Yeah, there's a level of concern. I had Nick Emanwari on my top 3 NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year candidates. Okay, there's worry there, right? You got a low ankle sprain, and that happens in a Wednesday practice. You got a couple days to get right, and he's not going to be 100%. And a lot of these guys aren't 100%, but of course the 2-week layoff allows you to get healthy. So to me, it doesn't matter what he's saying. It doesn't matter what the coach is saying. Oh, he'll be good. He'll be fine. You don't know that. He hasn't practiced since he suffered that low ankle sprain, right? It happened at the end of practice on Wednesday. He didn't practice on Thursday. If on the injury report on Friday you see that he's a limited participant, what does that even mean on a Friday practice before the Super Bowl? So we'll all know, I guess, during pregame warmups how he's looking out there. We'll know during the game how that ankle is feeling, but he's not going to be 100%, and I would be very surprised if he looks like the star rookie defensive back that he has been the last 21 or so weeks.
Okay, obviously at this point of the season, like, everyone's a little banged up in some way, and one of the big storylines has been the quarterbacks and the health that they're dealing with right now. Sam Darnold has been nursing an oblique injury this postseason. There was all to do about Drake May with injuring the right throwing shoulder, both downplaying the injury because that's what you do. What's the latest that you're hearing about the QBs?
Yeah, there's really no concern about Sam Darnold. We've seen him go out there and just have some of the best games of his season and of his career with that oblique injury. So no concerns there in Seattle. The Patriots, look, Drake May's one tough dude, okay? And you're talking about 23 and young. He took some hits this year. Where you, though, I don't know that he's coming back out for that, right? And then he does. So the Patriots know how tough he is. They have not been concerned about this shoulder. I think if this game had been played last Sunday, we have some real true concern about how effective can he really be. Again, the 2-week time between that Broncos game and now this upcoming Seahawks game is going to pay huge dividends for Drake May. Patriots aren't concerned, and neither am I.
JJ, never concerned, just so chill all the time. Gotta love it. Appreciate you. Have fun out there at the Super Bowl. Jonathan Jones with the latest. Don't forget, NFL calendar keeps on moving. We got key off-season dates. The Super Bowl, of course, this weekend. The Combine, February 26th. I mean, the NFL season really never ends. Let's be real.